Welcome into Good News Forecast. I'm Sophia Perricone.
And I'm meteorologist Kaylee Bowers. Thanks for joining us for another week of good news from around the world, the country, and right here in our own backyard. You guys already know how we start off the week. Sophia, how's your week going?
I'm having a pretty good week, Kaylee. It is comfortably warm outside.
Yes.
We're not roasting. I know we might be going back to some roasting, but for now, things are pretty great. How are things for you, Kaylee Bowers? If you know, you know.
Every morning she always says, "Hi, Kaylee Bowers." I know it's my name, but I just can't help it. Just the way she says it, it makes me chuckle, and it's just so funny. Like, she'll say, "Oh, how you doing, Kaylee?" Just
It's weird if I just call you Kaylee at this point. Like, you are Kaylee Bowers.
Exactly. And do you ever have this thing with, like, if your friends or family, like, they call you Sophia, or some people call you Soph, or whatever? Like, if I called you, like, saying Soph, that was weird to me.
Yes.
But do you have loved ones that call you Soph?
Yes. So it's like you have, like, established names for certain people. Like, I am definitely not a Sophie. People do not call me Sophie.
Yeah.
Except for my uncle calls me Sophie. Okay, fine.
Okay.
But if anyone else calls me Sophie, I'm like, that's not my name.
That's not the thing. Like, I have nicknames, like, people call me Kay, or like my last name will call me Bowers. In the news industry now, I've got a lot of people call me KB.
KB, yes.
KB. So
that's what I know.
It's very interesting on how we have different nicknames from different people. Like, if you called me something different, like, if you just call me Kaylee, that's just weird.
It is weird. Okay, Kaylee Bowers, tell us about your week.
Week has been fantastic. Yeah, as far as those temperatures go, yeah, we're feeling it a little bit, but we're gonna be feeling it next week even more.
Yeah.
But I've been saying all week long, like, it could be worse. It could be like what we saw last week.
That's true.
But I'll tell you what, 4th of July was fantastic.
Oh, did you have a good 4th?
I did nothing.
Me too. So if you're looking for 4th of July excitement from the two of us, it was low key. But we will be talking about 4th of July later in this show, so stick around.
Spent most of the time in the bathroom and the bedrooms with the dogs.
Oh, the fireworks.
Keeping them safe.
Yes.
Yeah, ironically, Barkley and my parents' golden retriever, they were the most scared, but the Great Dane, who I thought would be really scared, he was just somewhat scared. So I'm glad they were okay. We made it through another holiday.
Yes.
Of fireworks.
Yes, we did.
Well, how about this? A Perrysburg man is in Ireland right now, but not just for vacation, but to try to be a Guinness World Record, and this is for a good cause.
Matt Naggs is attempting the fastest crossing of Ireland on foot by a team of people with multiple sclerosis. Anna Miller shows us the lead up to his journey.
Matt Naggs has a long journey ahead. 350 miles across Ireland on foot with his partner Colin, who he met through an online MS support group. While they're chasing a Guinness World Record, the adventure is what matters most.
As much as just an adventure of two guys with MS that only met because we have MS, and showing ourselves and others what we're capable of despite the disease.
Naggs was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis in 2020, suffering vision, balance issues, and weakness, but says staying active helps him for the long term.
When I was diagnosed, I was told most likely within 5 years I'd be in a wheelchair. And I wanted to make sure that I could always kick his butt in basketball and, walk my daughters down the aisle one day.
They'll spend up to 8 hours a day on foot, crossing around 30 miles over 11 days, all while raising money for 3 charities. And just 3 months ago, he suffered an injury, but refused to let that stop him.
I try not to let the word can't into my mind, because once you do, I believe that your brain tries to prove you right.
And for anyone living with MS,
even if it looks different from what you might have thought, we're still capable of incredible things.
All right, do you guys have any words of advice for your dad?
I mean, stay positive. Don't die.
Thanks.
Reporting in Perrysburg, Anna Miller for WTOL 11.
That was like the most son to father thing.
Such a son response right there.
Yeah, and I actually took a look because you can track their journey. At the time of this recording, I believe they just wrapped up day 9.
Wow.
And if you're watching this maybe in a week from when we're recording, they are likely wrapped up and done with things. But you can go to our website and click. We have a link where you can see what they're up to and just how things went. So
would you do something like that?
You know, I think I would. I would do something like this for a good cause, even if someone just wanted to. I mean, we like to walk.
That's true.
So
why not walk across Ireland
for a good cause? So I would. Would you?
Get our steps in, absolutely.
Yeah. I like that.
Anyways.
Yeah. All right. So if swimming is more your thing,
Okay.
we don't blame you.
Love
As
it.
we talked about, it has been hot here in the Glass City, and many families in our area just want to cool off.
And Toledo City pools are the perfect way to do so. Now, when temperatures reach 100 degrees, admission to Toledo's pools are free. Now, it has cooled down a bit, just a bit, but during the recent heat wave, we stopped by Roosevelt Pool and caught up with some of the kids asking how the pools feel in the heat.
It's a little bit cold, but you get used to it, then it turns warm when you get used to it.
I like coming here because, it's not that many people, and people are very nice here.
Now, when we do see extreme heat, be sure to take those breaks in the shade, cool down, and of course, here's the big thing, hydrate, drink the water. We've been saying that all summer long. Stay safe, stay cool, but also please check on your loved ones as well, too. Kids, senior citizens, and the pets.
Yeah.
Just saying.
And I know, obviously, you and our other meteorologists here have been so great about keeping everyone informed about the recent heat wave we've had, the heat that we can expect, because we only are in July.
I know.
Don't forget. So, be sure to keep up with our meteorologists as we kind of push through this summer.
But I'll tell you what, that sounds really nice. Just jumping into a pool, have like a little slushy in your water next to it. Just,
That's so
anyways.
true. Are you more of a pool person or a beach person?
depends on the mood.
Okay.
I would say.
Okay.
And also, where are you? Am I in Ohio?
Oh.
I feel like for sure I'm going to the pool, even though we have our wonderful Lake Erie right there. I have swam in Lake Erie as a kid, not doing that now. Love Lake Erie though. But if I'm down in Florida, I could do either one, just depending on where you are, what's the closest location.
Yeah,
What about you, Southern California gal?
I would love to be at a beach every single day.
Yeah.
And when I mean beach, I mean, like the actual ocean, not the lakes. Like I consider the beach the ocean, but I don't mind a lake also, but I'd prefer the beach, here the pool. So location dependent.
Clean water, that's all I'm asking. That's all I want.
You need the bare
I just want to
minimum.
swim.
Yeah.
That's all I want.
So speaking of pools, you have the chance to attend a pool party for free.
Ooh.
Council President Vanice Williams is continuing her annual pool party tour. She says it's a great way to get families outside together.
Now, Williams says it promotes a safe, fun, and positive environment, but she also says it's a way for Toledo's youth to feel seen and heard.
During that study, we realized that we need to get the word out a little bit more about what we're doing for the youth. We want them to know that their voices are important, and doing these pool parties to make them feel safe and understand that we have these amenities throughout the city.
So the next pool parties are July 15th at Willie's Pool, July 22nd at Pickford Pool, and July 29th at Navarre Pool, so mark your calendars. Each pool party starts at 1 p.m. and admission is free until the party ends at 3 p.m.
Now, turning from the pool to the greater bodies of water, most people dream of taking a trip of a lifetime, but a Toledo man decided to stop waiting for someday.
After surviving cancer in his 20s, Jake Harrigan spent nearly 10 months sailing almost 5,000 miles around the eastern United States alone.
Wow.
Steve Iwanek shares his inspiring journey.
For nearly a year, this 30-foot sailboat was Jake Harrigan's entire world.
The entire 295 days was living in 300 square feet and doing this crazy adventure.
The Toledo native set sail last September, setting out solo to complete America's Great Loop, 5,000 miles by water, chasing a dream he'd carried for years, becoming a reality after a cancer diagnosis at just 24 years old.
Retirement's not guaranteed, so do it now while you still can. You could get hit by a car tomorrow.
Before he ever left, Jake stripped this 1983 sailboat down to its hull, rewiring it, replumbing it, even replacing the diesel engine with an electric motor he powered himself.
I had my hand on it, I touched it, and we redid it. So, I made the whole boat.
From there, starting in the Glass City, he pointed it south down the Mississippi, around Florida, up the East Coast, and through the Great Lakes. Along the way were dolphins.
No way I just got that on camera. Oh my God.
Crystal blue waters and plenty of storms.
It's tough to describe to somebody the feeling of being alone and having a storm roll in and you're it.
But when you ask him what was the hardest part, it wasn't the occasional towering wave. It was having no one beside him.
Honestly, the hardest part was the loneliness. That was the hardest part. You see man, you see so much cool stuff and there's nobody there to experience it with you.
But now he's home from a voyage that changed him and hoping one day it will change someone else too.
Most people live lives of quiet desperation, and if you just take the leap and do it, you're not going to regret it.
Some beautiful photos and videos there.
Those were amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, would you do that?
That one, okay, seeing the map, like, so he came down rivers and then looped around Florida, back up. I think I could, because it's not all just open ocean water.
You're near land, yeah.
You're near land. I just said I love the beach and the ocean, but like being out there, I think being by myself would be the most difficult thing. How about you?
I don't mind that one. Again, I think if it was crossing the Atlantic or the Pacific Ocean, that might be a little scary, but you know, you hit the lake shores and then you hit the Mississippi River, then you go down in the Gulf. Then once you kind of go up the East Coast, that might be a little scary, especially with the Gulf. Once you get to the ocean part of it, that might be a little much, but I like that we're able to do that loop if they wanted to.
Yeah, I didn't know that that route existed.
Yeah.
So cool that it does.
Very cool. We'll be right back. Welcome back into Good News Forecast. We just celebrated the 4th of July and America's 250th birthday, and people across Northwest Ohio are getting in on the celebrations.
Steve Iwanek is back to show us how a neighborhood tradition has some patriotic flair this year and what's really blossoming.
Some traditions don't need a holiday. They just need neighbors.
It's been on voluntary basis. It is not a requirement for the neighborhood.
For more than 50 years in Toledo's Old Orchard neighborhood, the people of Cheltenham Road have a tradition of planting the same curbside flowers every summer, and that tradition has continued to blossom.
This particular curb flowers have been going on since 1969.
Block after block, home after home, the flowers are hard to miss. Known simply as the Cheltenham Curb Flowers, it's been organized by Connie Moore for the last 10 years.
I've just grown to love it, and I've become a gardener without really even trying to be. So I love doing it, and will continue to do it as long as I can.
This year, 40 homes are decked out in red, white, and blue. But while the flowers may catch your eye, it's the people that leave the impression.
I've lived here 43 years, so I've done it every year.
At age 89,
Yes.
Betty Nicolin has spent more than 4 decades helping keep the tradition alive. But last summer, she couldn't.
I had been sick, and I looked out here, and here one of my neighbors 2 doors down was spading my flower bed. And the next thing I knew, she was over here planting.
She never had to ask. They just showed up.
I think it makes a community. We feel like we know each other better.
That's the part Diane Elsie says you can't see from the road.
And it just kind of gives you a sense of unity. And that's what I like so much about it.
And for Sarah Rohde, the tradition has become a family heirloom.
My papa is the one who always put them out, and so with him being gone for over 10 years now, it feels like I'm living up to a tradition that I know that he loved.
By autumn, the flowers will fade. But on this street, what's budded here was never planted in the flower beds. It was grown, one neighbor at a time.
What I really love about this is I almost feel like we're losing the sense of neighbors and neighborhood. I feel like everyone...
Because we are.
We are.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like everyone keeps to themselves, so it's really nice to see that that is not entirely lost.
I know, and I really just like the patriotism of the red, white, and blue flowers. Yeah. I know they do different flowers each year, but it was really perfect for the 250th this year.
Yeah,
it's
really
just so pretty.
Yeah, beautiful. Do you have a green thumb?
No.
Me neither. I wish I did.
No. I'll water. Sometimes over water, sometimes under water, but I'll water. That's all I got. Well, how about this? Speaking of red, white, and blue, let's take a look at how some people and organizations celebrated the 4th of July and America 250. A patriotic display in Toledo is taking visitors on a walk through 250 years of American history. The National Exchange Club showed off its field of flags outside of its Toledo headquarters. The exhibit featured official U.S. flag designs arranged in chronological order, allowing visitors to see how many American flags have evolved since the nation's founding.
Each flag includes a historical fact and solar lights to keep the display illuminated after dark. Organizers say the Field of Flags celebrates the 250th anniversary of the Declaration of Independence, while also honoring the veterans who have defended the country's freedoms. Very cool.
Wow.
And take a look at this. This was the scene over downtown Toledo on the 4th of July. It's estimated that 100,000 people watched the fireworks light up over the Maumee River.
And the event had more than a dozen food trucks and live music starting well before the fireworks show. The city said this was the biggest light show of the year yet.
Wow.
Okay, so we were just chatting a little bit ago. What did you do for the 4th of July? Did you see fireworks? Did you go somewhere? Did you just hang out at home and see them through your window?
That is what I did, Kaylee. Kaylee Bowers. I literally saw them from my backyard, from my window, not even my backyard, unfortunately, but I did just see them. I heard them and I was that neighbor who was like, what's out there?
Get your little binoculars on.
Yeah, they were shooting off right next door to me.
Right there.
So it was cool to see. Yeah, how about you?
I watched them again through the backyard, the window a little bit, but I was more focused on the dogs, of course. But on Friday, Columbus does a display. I went back to my parents for the weekend and I watched it on TV.
Okay.
They do a big celebration in downtown Columbus. So I got to see some fireworks, but I'll be honest, I haven't watched a full fireworks display in a very long time because I'm either sleeping or working. So this is the first time I really kind of got to see something in a while.
Which is nice. You saw something.
It's something. It counts. One of my favorite things to do when I do work on the 4th of July is looking at our sky cams and seeing fireworks here and there and there and there. And it's just watching it illuminate over the sky cams. That's really cool.
That and seeing it in a plane, if you've ever flown on the 4th of July.
Have you gotten to see that?
No, but I saw pictures and videos.
I want to.
But it would be cool to see for your own eyes. Yeah.
Let us know if you have.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. We do have some sad news. But it's still okay because it's still exciting.
Okay.
Even though it is the end of the road for the U.S. men's national soccer team, the World Cup is still inspiring the next generation.
Bree Buckley shows us the impact the tournament is having on a young team not far from the action at Miami Stadium.
For these young players,
pass the ball, one touch pass.
Soccer is more than just a game. It's all part of a bigger dream.
What do you want to be when you grow up?
A famous soccer player.
Lua Pratt says one day she will play in the FIFA World Cup, motivated by her favorite player, Lionel Messi.
Because he's the best soccer player in the world.
Her teammate Aria Dion feels the same. Aria's dad, Pei, says Messi has become her biggest inspiration.
Lately, we've been watching a lot of videos, especially with Messi. Messi being here has been a huge spark of interest for her. We go to local games as well, and she just loves the game of soccer.
And with the World Cup taking place just miles away in Miami Gardens, the inspiration keeps growing.
He's so excited. We are doing the album. He knows every single player name. He's so excited about it.
Because that's Ronaldo's last World Cup.
But it's not going to be too easy.
Coach Luis Dos Santos with America's Got Soccer says the World Cup is all the kids can talk about.
If you want to become a soccer player, everybody wants to play it, the World Cup. So those kids, they just talk about the Messi, Neymar, Cristiano. They're kind of heroes for them.
Now finding a way to get there comes next.
Actually, we're going to Colombia, Portugal. Then we're so excited to be part. And
the prices are crazy, but we're working on it.
As they dream of following in the footsteps of their favorite players, the World Cup is showing these kids that those dreams may be closer than ever.
The team here at America's Got Soccer tells me they plan to host watch parties for some of the big matches. In Oakland Park, Bree Buckley, CBS News, Miami.
Again, sad that the U.S. men's national team is out, but if it means inspiring a generation, maybe we get to a point where we're really good at soccer and we win one day.
You know, we've already worked our way up to the 16th round, or, the 16 cutoff, but at least we made it this far.
Yes.
But it's still really cool that the U.S., Canada, and Mexico got to host this year. So even though it's sad, I still think that the three countries should be really excited to be the host for this year, especially for the U.S. with it being the 250th.
That is a really good point.
Just saying.
That is awesome.
Just
love
saying.
that perspective. We'll be right back. Thanks for staying with us on Good News Forecast. A Toledo man is stepping up to do a job that he isn't getting paid for. It's one he didn't really apply for, and it's one that no one asked him to do.
So he's cleaning up at Collingwood Cemetery. Annalise Cornejo Garcia has the story.
In a quiet corner of one of Toledo's historic cemeteries, Elijah Diefenbach and his service dog Azula are doing a job no one asked them to do. For about a year, Diefenbach's been walking Azula at Collingwood Cemetery off of Phillips Avenue. But in May, those walks turned into something more.
I got started doing this just trying to get out of the house and maintain my mental health. Here I noticed the groundhog damage and just the unkeptness of it.
Tunnels and overgrown grass threaten the foundation of many grave sites. So he asked city leaders for permission to restore the headstones and come up with ways to fill the holes, learning as he went.
You can tell which ones are cleaned by me and which ones have not been cleaned.
None of his relatives are buried here, but that hasn't stopped him from treating every grave like family.
These are children and grandchildren of these two.
Some of these graves date back to the 1870s, so he started digging into the stories behind the names.
He was the mayor of Toledo. Yes, we have a mayor of Toledo in here that was not being kept up. You never know who's buried here.
To Diefenbach, that's the whole point.
Everybody is important, no matter who it is.
It's a philosophy he learned from his grandmother, who he lovingly called Busha, while taking care of her in her final years.
I have her with me all the time. I do this kind of to carry her memory with me because family was very important to her, and knowing her family and taking care of family was very important to her. Busha left us, and so I just kind of take care of everybody else now in Toledo.
That's really nice that he's willing to take time out of his day and, you know, get some fresh air, get some steps in, but also go make someone else's day a little bit better.
Yeah.
They might not be alive, but he's cleaning up their area, their tombstone, making it a little bit nicer.
And imagine being a loved one and showing up to visit your late loved one, and you see, hey, someone took the time to clear this up and make it look just a little bit better. That would mean a lot too, I'd imagine.
I've always kind of wanted to do that. Like, I'll go do that to some of my relatives that are no longer with us. I'll go clean up the tombstone a little bit, but you see some of them next to you and it's like, this is covered in moss, it's covered in weeds, and you want to do something, but you want to be respectful to them, but also to the family as well. So, like, I don't want to disturb anything, but I also don't want to get in trouble, but I want to be respectful and make it look nice and just.
It's a fine line.
It's one of those things where, okay, what can I do to help him be kind? Yeah, but still really nice.
Very cool to see it in our area.
I know.
Doing it, yeah. So before we go, every 4th of July marks the loss of one more veteran of World War II.
Steve Hartman met a young man who's racing against time to preserve their stories.
28-year-old Rishi Sharma is about to document a rare encounter.
May I come in? Come in.
An actual World War II veteran with a story to tell.
I'm Rishi Sharma, and I'm here to interview you. Okay. For the last 10 years, I've been on the mission to interview every single World War II combat veteran. And I've quite honestly spent every single day of the last 10 years doing that.
Amazing. I first met Rishi in 2016. Just out of high school, he was already deeply interested in World War II books, but was just beginning to realize the living history all around him.
There are real superhero World War II vets out there, and I want to meet them.
So Rishi started driving around his Southern California neighborhood
every single day
to record interviews with these vets. He then expanded his outreach.
This is a map of all the places that I'm planning to go to.
This is a multi-year trip, right?
Oh yeah, I'm going to be on the road for years.
It's now been 10 years.
This looks really good.
Today, he's interviewing 100-year-old Marine veteran Nils Mokler of Yorktown, New York. Nils was a combat intelligence scout. His first battle, one of the bloodiest in Marine history, and one of the most inspiring, Iwo Jima.
What did it mean to you seeing the American flag being raised?
Well, the hair on my arm still stands up when I think about it, how beautiful it was.
Rishi's project is funded by donations.
Rockets,
the recordings,
bombs,
posted online and given to the families.
I thought I was going to die.
So far, Rishi has done 3,000 interviews and counting.
I'll never forget landing on Omaha Beach.
Although counting much more slowly now.
When I first met Rishi a decade ago, there were about 700,000 World War II veterans still alive. Today, only about 30,000 remain. And Rishi says when they're all gone, probably in the next decade or so, America will lose a lot more than just a bunch of old war stories.
Because for so long they've been the moral compass of our society. Just the advice that they impart silently steers the ship of this country.
This weekend, we get to celebrate 250 years as a nation. And Rishi reminds us that is not by accident. It is thanks in large part to that generation of sacrifice and moral clarity we call the greatest. Steve Hartman, on the road, in Yorktown, New York.
I have the chills.
I really love that someone is doing this. He's taking the time and kind of making this his own career to go and talk to these people that put their lives on the line to serve our country, and years later saving these stories for generations to come.
Very important, especially because we lose more and more every year. That means we lose their stories if they're not documented, and we can always learn from history. It's important to know our history and to document the heroes who have shaped our history. So I really like that. We've kind of had back-to-back stories here of people doing things they were not asked to do, but willing to step up to do that.
And the big thing, like you said, preserving the history, whether it was the tombstones or our veteran stories. So really cool to see that. And again, thank a veteran for sure.
Yes. And that does it for this week on Good News Forecast.
We'll see you next week with more good news from around the world, the country, and right here in our own backyards. Bye.